Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome back to another Q&A. So I haven't done one of these in a little while, and full transparency, the reason why you're getting one of these today, I'm recording this on the day that it's going to be coming out, is I've got very little content. Unfortunately, my last two streams in a row have been quite poop. It's just sometimes the way that it goes. You know, you record for 5 hours and you get no videos made. You know, that's what was my Monday. And then today we recorded, I think, for about 3 hours. And I think we got one video made. So it's just a bit unfortunate, but it's just the way that it goes. You know, it's just the way of things. And because I'm quite a diligent YouTuber, that I'm like, I have to have my 2 videos every day. A lot of YouTubers are relaxed. Like, I didn't get that video. You know, there's no video today. I don't want to do that. So here I am. So we're doing a Q&A, and I'm not sure if there'll be footage in the background. I'm hoping I have some spare footage, but again, it's probably quite poor League of Legends that you're going to be watching, because again, the spare footage I have are from the games that don't get uploaded. So let's go for it. So the first question is, and again, I think we're just going to go like rapid fire through all the questions that people have given. We've collected these on the Discord server. Saying, what inspired me to play League of Legends and what aspects of the game keep you playing? In addition, what, in my opinion, has League of Legends done correctly and incorrectly to retain their player base? This is a good question, a lot in this question. So again, very basic. I don't want to repeat too much because obviously some people have watched a lot of these Q&As, but I started playing League because a friend played it. It's that simple. What do the aspects of the game that keep me playing? Every game's different. I think that is the key to it. You know, in a World of Warcraft raid, when you learn a boss, you do the mechanics, it's the same every time. You know, yeah, when you're progressing, it feels amazing, but when you've got something on progression, it's the same. League of Legends is different every game. You know, it's the same with what I liked Call of Duty in the past as well. Every game you have different opponents. People do different things weird, or, you know, different gun setups. In League, it's different comps. Your team is running a different comp every game. The enemy team's got a different comp every game. There's different players. There's people that are one-tricks. There's people that are terrible. It's all mixed into one, and it makes, weirdly, even though I've played this game for 10-odd years, every game feels refreshing because it's not the same. And I think that's what keeps me playing, is I can go play a different game, and I do play different games, but I get bored of them. I'm like, oh, I've already got the feeling like I've done everything in this game. I'll never get that with League. You know, you can't. You've never done everything with League, and I think that's what it does well. And that's just the type of the game. That isn't just League of Legends. That is Dota and all of these types of games. But specifically, what has League of Legends done well? I've said it for ages. What League of Legends did well was have a relatively polished product come out in 2009. And remember, yes, if you look at the graphics in 2009, it was bad, but comparing to other things available, it was good. It was a polished product at the right time. HON, you had to pay to play, and this was another MOBA back then. I think it might still exist. Dota was obviously from Warcraft 3, and they hadn't made Dota 2 yet. So like League came in at a perfect time with a polished product, perfect time, and that's how it gained its traction. Because, you know, in video games, you know, different game types goes ups and down. We've seen battleground games, the rise of Fortnite, PUBG, all those, Apex. That's the battleground rise, and it is apparently dipping off a little bit at the moment. Then you've seen the auto chess rise, and again, it is dipping off a little bit. Back then is when the MOBA rise was happening. That's when the MOBA genre was the biggest genre in the world. And yeah, it was just timing. I think League did well. And what does it do well? What does it do bad? It's hard to say, because I have worries with League that it is slightly going in the way that Blizzard did with World of Warcraft, in the fact that they are kind of bowing down to very casual aspects. That League of Legends was fairly hardcore in Season 1 to 3, fairly hardcore. And over the years, they have, again, I was speaking as someone that has been here and seeing them implement change after change, they are implementing a lot more casual things. And it's just obvious, it's just happening. So that is something I'm worried about. And obviously, yes, they are trying to get a broad audience. You know, they recently gave statistics, and again, you can't lie about them, that they have 8 million daily players. That is by far the biggest video game in the world. By far. I think Fortnite peaked at like 1 million, maybe, if that, daily. So League is still the top dog when it comes to video games. And yeah, I don't see that stopping anytime soon. You know, all the people that weirdly, and it's weird, they play League, but they also hate League at the same time, and they're like, oh, dead game, etc. Yeah, League is far from dead. It's very big. But what have they done correctly? They constantly update the game. That is a big deal. Again, to keep that like freshness that I spoke about of why I keep playing it, if they didn't update it as much as they did, well, then you would get the same comps every single game. You would get the same enemies every single game. They change it so the champions are constantly changing in strength. That's very smart. What did they do incorrectly? Again, whether it's a negative or not, they are making the game more casual. And I'd say the biggest negative of what Riot do is the mistakes. Riot as a company and decisions they do make big mistakes. And generally from what I've seen, it's one developer on like a crusade mission that's like they've got a thing that they want to do and they get it done, even if it means, and all the warnings are there that the community doesn't want it. Season 6 Flex Queue is a great example, or Dynamic Queue as we called back then. Role ranked at the beginning of this season. Little things, you know, it's just like that one dev that's like, this is a great idea. And, you know, obviously it's not just one dev, it's a whole team, but it's that one idea at least that it's like, we need to be careful that you're implementing the right ideas, especially when you're changing a lot, like the core game you are changing, because League became the biggest game in the world by what it was. And you're going to change away from that. You got to be careful. So that's what I'd say. Next up is saying, why don't I have favorites in League, like a favorite champion or favorite composition in TFT? I don't have favorites in anything. That's just who I am as a person. I don't have a favorite car. I don't have a favorite here. Like, it's very rare for me to have favorites in things. I don't have a favorite song. I don't have a favorite band, really. It's just who I am. I like more than one favorite thing. It's like, you know, when you're a kid, it's like, I have my best friend. I've had very good friends, very, very close friends, but I like having more than just a best friend. It's kind of like my philosophy in that. I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess. I don't know if people would understand it, but I don't like having favorites of things because I also don't like getting attached too much. Because if I have a favorite champion, I'm like, I loves Gangplank, and Gangplank's the best, and he's my dude. I play League for Gangplank. We're changing Gangplank. Oh no! Like, that to me would suck. So I like the fact that I'm not too attached, because it doesn't affect me when change happens, and I'm very fluid when it comes to the meta. So, yeah. Alright, next up is, do I agree with Riot's decision to remove Twisted Treeline? Overall, yes. It's a tough decision, and if you are a Twisted Treeline player, I do sympathize for you, because that must be rough. Especially, there are people out there that the only game mode they play is Twisted Treeline. Now, for those that I need to translate that to, because there will be also people that exist, Huz, what's Twisted Treeline? Yeah, that's basically the reason why it's getting removed. So Twisted Treeline is the 3v3 game mode in League of Legends. It's got a separate map. It's been there from the beginning, you know, pretty much. The player base is really low. Like, I think Riot recently on Reddit, when they were trying to defend the decision, one Riot might have been Cactopus, because he always talks to people in the comments and stuff. It has way less players than ARAM does. And I don't think even ARAM is as big as it used to be. So when you, as a company, are putting resources and what do you want to do, and if the rumors are true that, you know, there is a new video game coming from Riot, there is potentially League of Legends Mobile, the resources that you're making the developers do, you need to streamline it for what's important and what's working for you right now. So League of Legends, the main game, priority number 1. TFT, that did very well, priority number 2. ARAM still has got a good player base, priority number 3. And then you're implementing a new Riot Games, again, that fighting game that one of the devs leaked at EVO, that. Then also potential, the mobile game, that. And then right at the bottom of the list, you know, with what has maybe a few thousand players per server, Twisted Treeline, it just isn't worth it anymore. It just isn't. You know, when a company looks at how much money people are spending and all that, and the resources it costs to maintain it, right now, it just isn't worth Twisted Treeline being a thing. What I hope, and again, obviously the only thing that TFT has kind of hurt is the rotating game mode, and I know some people are salty about that. I'm sure it'll come back. But if they do continue the rotating game mode, that Earth comes back, Nexus Blitz comes back, potentially they can just add Twisted Treeline to the rotating game mode. But possibly that's an answer. I don't know. Next thing is, Bum bum. Someone says, quite a big question by the looks of it, looking at your own mistakes is always the best way to improve, especially in a game like League. But do you have some rule of thumb or something else for when one should look inwards because a game was lost or went negative because of one's own mistakes? And when should one recognize that a game was simply lost because of someone else other than yourself? Great question. So basically this is, how do you look into yourself and improve? And when, in a game that you've lost, is it a time to go, okay, what did I do that lost the game? Or was it one of those games that you just kind of wipe your hands with it and go, that wasn't my problem, that was somebody else? Good question. My general rule of thumb when it comes to self-improvement is I look at my deaths. It's the easiest way to self-improve. When you die in League, it's either one of two things, a good or a bad death. A good death is when you've baited the entire enemy team and you've died, but the whole enemy team has died and you did that key bait. Or you CC'd the whole enemy team while your team kills them, but you ended up dead. That's fine. That doesn't need to be kind of focused on too much. You expected to die. You basically sacrifice yourself for the greater good. A bad death, you get caught. You basically always get caught. Get caught, outplayed, outtraded. You get caught just before a dragon play. The enemy team now has priority on dragon. Look at deaths, because it's only one of two things. It's only a good or a bad situation, and you will always know if it's a good or bad situation. If you deep down really just think about it, like, you know, you're fighting top lane and you die in a 1v1, you'll know if you mucked up or not. Like, it could simply be as, oh, I shouldn't be fighting him at the moment. It could be as simple as that. It might not be anything more than, oh, he had an item up on me and I had 1,000 gold. Maybe I should have gone back and bought the item before fighting. That is like the key place that you can look at self-improvement, and like the easiest self-improvements are right there. Like, oh, I died and I was alone as the AD carry on bot lane when I should be grouping. Boom, easy, next time group. You can do that. That's easy self-improvement, and that's my general rule of thumb of where to look for self-improvement. When it comes to a game that you've lost, whether it's your fault or someone else's, I mean, we all kind of know. You know, did you do a big bad play? You died at the wrong time. The enemy team got the momentum. They got Baron. They ended the game. Or was your top winner 1 in 10? You know, let's be honest. We've had games, I've had games, we all have. I've had a great game, but I've got that feeding top laner, as an example. I'm in mid, doing well, I'm 5-2, my top laner is absolutely getting owned. Looks like we're losing the game, kinda. Maybe we do a little bit of a comeback, but my top laner is still feeding, still giving gold to the enemy team, making them strong, but we're kind of hanging in there. Maybe we can win. I make one big mistake, boom, we lose the game. Whose fault is it? That's a hard question, because you've got your top laner that was feeding the whole game, giving gold, making the enemy team strong, and then there's me having a great game, but I make a really bad play, I get caught, the enemy team get Baron, they end the game. Whose fault is it? And the answer is, it can be both of you. You know, it doesn't have to be 100% someone's fault all the time. It can be evenly spread up. If you look at a game of League, everybody technically should have 20%, you know, a way to win. There's 5 people, divide 100 by 5. You should have 20% of the way that you're carrying the game. But say my top laner was -20. He was just feeding them like crazy, so I was trying to cover him, and then eventually I do one bad play. Yeah, it sucks, and maybe I lost the game for my team, but I'm still not going to take that as a complete negative, and you shouldn't. You should take the lesson it gives. Oh, okay, I shouldn't have been there by myself at that time, I got caught. Okay, don't do that again, but also be kind of like lenient on yourself, going, but the enemy team was only so strong because my top laner was feeding. That's fine. You can spread the load on whose game was lost. Again, it's very rarely, and again, it does happen, but it's very rarely, it's like, it's that one person's fault that we lost. It happens, but it's rare. Usually it's like a mixture of a few people that are having a couple mistakes, and yeah, maybe one big mistake, but don't let everything fall on you if you just make that one clutch mistake. And obviously look at it, realize it, try to work on it, but also be like, okay, yeah, I got killed by the AD carry that got really fed because my team was feeding. If they weren't feeding, I wouldn't have died in that situation, but I still shouldn't have been there. That's kind of the way that you can think, but hopefully that helps. Next up is, what do I think of the fact that Rise got the championship skin this year, I figured it would have been Kaiser. There is only one reason he got the championship skin. It is the 10-year anniversary of League of Legends. It's that simple. You know, it's the 10-year anniversary. Ryze has been a staple signature champion of League of Legends for these 10 years. You know, when you look at the cinematics, he's in most of them. He's the running man. He has the lore. You know, there's that book that we're not allowed to see what's in it. Everyone's guess it's the lore of League of Legends. You know, he's like the storyteller of League in a way. It's the history of League and everything. He is the only champion, really, to me, that could have been to signify the 10 years of the World Championship too. And yeah, Riot, by the way, are doing a lot for the 10-year anniversary of League. They're doing a live stream that, again, from my knowledge, they are announcing a few things. I would definitely watch that live stream. And also, I'm at the event. I'm at an event in London. And it's become public information now because Riot made a mistake, so I don't think I'd get in trouble for saying. But it's a 10-year anniversary event that Riot was inviting key people to the success of League that have influenced the game and stuff like that. And they're inviting 500 people, which is a lot. I did not expect that many people, to London for a celebration. And I'm not really sure what that means. I know a few people going, so I'll have a good time. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time, and I have no idea. I'm guessing we're going to be shown some things and, you know, given, you know, hey, you all helped the game and influenced the game. Here's something that is coming to the public soon. You can't say anything, but let us know what you think. I'm guessing it's that, and then there'll be like a meal and a party in the evening. But they're doing a lot, trust me, for the 10-year anniversary. I'm waiting for it. Nothing's been announced. I don't know it. But I hope they do some 10-year merch or a 10-year statue or something. Because that is something that I definitely... If you look back here, my wall of League of Legends stuff, we've got the Masterwork chest that I did my sponsorship with Riot and MasterCard. You've got Ziggs. You've got the event, whatever it was, the loot event that I was involved with in the clubs. I've got a piece of the Riot map. I've got quite a lot of like quite cool merch, a lot of them exclusive, and something to signify 10 years of League, what I think would be pretty cool. So I do hope that's coming. All right, next up is what is my opinion of Riot not wanting to support new and innovative game modes like the Star Guardian, Project, and Odyssey game modes? Again, it's something similar to what we spoke about when we spoke about the 3v3 game mode, resources, and it's cost, income versus resources. Basically, what Riot worked out is, does those events make us more money in when we do Star Guardians or Project? The answer is no. They will sell the same amount of skins for Star Guardian if they do the event or not do the event. They'll make the same amount. So why do the event? I know that sounds really bad and that sounds really corporate and all that, but in the end of the day, again, I don't know why people give it a hard time. League is a free-to-play game, like completely free-to-play. And, you know, you've got to be careful with where you're spending money here and there and all that. When, you know, the shareholders, whatever, you got to, that's just how companies work. I'm sorry for everybody that hates that, but that's what you got to do. So it makes sense. I'm not surprised at all if it didn't increase their bottom line. And, you know, maybe let's say, oh, it increased sales of skins by 2%, if that. But the cost of doing it made it, you know, 4% of skins is what we needed and we only sold 2% more. Stuff like that just makes the decision. So, yeah. Next up is, do I think it's a good idea to ban cheese picks from your team or just dodge? I keep on getting Mundo jungles and never won a game with one, and I would rather not risk any more of my LP than is what I already wasted. It's fine to ban whatever you want. Make sure that you are clearly aware that it is not a bannable offense to ban whatever you want in Champion Select. And yes, that includes if someone is hovering something and you ban it, that is not a ban. That is not a report. Riot have said so. It's just not. Some, I guess, people would see it as BM, but it's not. And the answer that Riot's given in the past is the argument of people going, oh, you can't ban that. I was hovering it. The argument of that person would make is, that's my fun in League of Legends. That's why I'm playing League, is that champion. But then the opposite, what happens if the person banning it simply hates playing with that champion? Who's more important? The answer is no one's more important. You just got the ban system. So you can ban anything you want. If you want to ban Mundo Jungle, you're fully entitled to do so. The obvious down point of it is if someone on your team wants to play said Mundo jungle, you ban it, they were hovering it, you might not have the happiest of teammates. That is obviously the negative. I generally don't ban stuff if someone is hovering, but I've had the situation before. A lot of people know I ban Twitch jungle or I ban Aurelia. I've had situations I ban Twitch jungle and then the jungler freaks out at me going, why'd you ban Twitch jungle? I main Twitch jungle, even if they didn't hover it. And then it's simple as you didn't hover it. Or I've banned things, self-admittingly, where someone has hovered something, I wasn't paying attention to what was hovered. Like, genuinely was like, oh, I didn't look at what was hovered. And it's up to the other person what they do. You know, you are fully entitled to ban anything you want. It's up to them how they react. And it's up to you if, you know, you can kind of sense. You know, what I would say is if you are like, I'm not playing with Mundo, ban it. And if the enemy, if your jungler who wanted Mundo jungle freaks out and you know this dude's going to troll, this guy's going to be toxic, I'm never going to get ganks from this guy, maybe then dodge. So, yeah. What is the most common low elo mistakes and how to spot them yourself? We spoke about it earlier, when you die. That's the easiest way to do it. But yeah, when you die is like the easiest way that you can go. Was that a good death or a bad death? And go from there. How is the health issues recently? They are improving every time, every day. I'm back to losing weight. If you don't watch my TFT channel, the jumper and sweater combo I'm wearing right now is actually a size down to what I normally wear, and I fit in this quite nicely. I'm down 2 trouser sizes in about 2 months. It's getting there. My fitness, I'm in the gym every week, hitting new PBs. On Tuesday, I hit a PB on leg press, and I hit a PB on squats. And again, a lot of people are going to go, how much do you do? I don't go for maximum weight because I'm doing weight loss, so I'm going for reps rather than weight. But for leg press, it was I think it was the last exercise of the hour. So I'm in the gym an hour. So again, take into account, I am quite tired at this point. On leg press, I do 15 reps and I was doing, I think, 5 sets. And we were doing, was it 260 kilogram? Or no, more than that, 265 kilogram. It was over 550 pounds for you Americans. So 15 sets of 550 pounds at the end of my hour session. I was pretty happy with that, you know. It's getting there. But leg press, I would say, is one of my best exercises because, you know, when you're slightly overweight, your legs are quite strong because they've got a support. But I am now, weight-wise, literally, I think I'm 1 or 2 pounds away from 200 pounds in weight. So I'm pretty happy about that. That's going to be a cool... If when I get below 200, I'll be like, hey, because I haven't been below 200 pounds in quite a while. And, you know, down trouser sizes and all that. So it's getting there. And all it is exercising more. I'm minimum exercising 3 days a week and eating a lot less. So intermittent fasting, I'm back doing that 1 meal a day. So I'm doing OMAD, intermittent fasting. And today, I just had chicken. I'm not kidding. That's all I had. I had chicken. So it was good. It was piri-piri chicken, but chicken. I normally have chicken and rice, but today, because yesterday I had a bit of a cheat because I had a really tough gym session. I still had 1 meal a day, but I had a wrap, which is obviously a lot of carbs. So to make up for that, I dropped the rice today, so I just had chicken. But yeah, it's going well. Okay, let's answer a couple more. So someone is saying, you know, what do I think of the 10-year anniversary? There are some things I can't say, but yeah, they're just going to be announcing stuff. It's that simple. They're going to be announcing stuff. They're going to be saying their thank yous. And, you know, just stuff you'd expect, pretty much. You know, it's weird for me, by the way, to think the World of Warcraft really recently had its 15-year anniversary. League of Legends is 10. Like, I've always considered, wow, World of Warcraft's a really old game, and League's only 5 years behind. And I will actually say, for those that have played World of Warcraft, I did order something that is a bit naughty. So Blizzard, again, I don't even play World of Warcraft anymore. I don't play Classic. I got bored. But World of Warcraft has a big piece in my heart, you know. It's what got me into computer gaming, really, like PC gaming. They got some of their old server blades and they've made them decorative, turned them into really nice pieces. Yeah, I bought one of the server blades. I don't know when it's going to arrive. I'm sure it'll be back there somewhere eventually. But yeah, I bought one of the World of Warcraft server blades and it looks really cool. So pretty happy about that. But and because obviously there's not many of them that they're selling. But yeah. Next one is, and the last one, how would you balance League to make it a more positive experience for pros and casual players? You can't do it. It's that simple. You can't appease both play groups because they are in the game for two different things. So the casual play, like, great example, let's just use Akali as the prime example. The casual play group of League. And, you know, when we say casual, by the way, that's mainly normal players, but, you know, low rating ranked players as well, I guess. They don't see Akali as a problem. A lot of them, like a lot. Even in my Twitch chat, there are people going, I don't know why they're nerfing Akali more. So a lot of people don't see that problem. But to a pro or to high rating people, it's like, oh my god, get this champion out of my games. It's just different. It's two different ends of the scale. You can't do both. Unless you just have a good champion design, which Akali kind of isn't. So you can't do both. And it's unrealistic that you're going to be able to do both. But League of Legends very early on made itself a top-down game. They balance it for pros and high-rating players, and that trickles down. And the answer to why they do that is because the aspiration that what Riot wants in every of their ranked players especially, they want their ranked players to want to get to high rating. And what happens if that silver player works really hard and they improve and they finally get diamond, but the experience of the league gets worse in diamond? It wouldn't make sense. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't work. So you need the experience to be as good as you can in high rating. And that, by the way, should be for everything. It's not, because toxicity in high rating is terrible, but it should be for everything. It should be your, you know, the toxicity gets less in high rating. It should be. They need to fix that. There's a few things that they need to do. So what can they do for at least pros and, you know, hardcore players? Fix the toxicity of the game. Have a proper ban report system. Hold people accountable to making other people's games worse, whether it by inting, like feeding on purpose, running it down, being toxic in chat. You know, that needs to be better. Because again, a lot of people who are toxic, they say they're only toxic to people that are like inting and nothing will get done to them. Again, the reason that is primary of why someone who is toxic is so much easier to get to and report and ban than someone who's inting is a lot of people who are inting aren't actually inting. They're just having a terrible game. It happens to us all. And like the next time that you've got to think, that dude's inting my game, he's 0-10, the next time you're 0-10, ask yourself the question, am I inting? The answer's probably no. You're probably like, oh god, no, I'm not. Great example today. I was playing Nico. I was against an Echo. And I went something like, I'm gonna find it, because I very rarely feed like crazy. You know, I'm a fairly consistent player that doesn't die a lot, but I don't get crazy kills. I went 1-8 on Nico. To a lot of people in Diamond 1, even I sometimes would be like, is that person inting? I wasn't. You know, you could tell I wasn't. I was just getting one shot. That's the thing, and that's where it comes from, is that it's just kind of people not realizing that people have bad games. And I need to get better at it. You know, I've said in commentaries, dude, that person's inting, when they're probably not. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Again, apologies, because I know they're not the crazy interesting thing, but hopefully you got something out of it. What I will say, though, is if you've got any more questions, feel free in the comment section to leave some. And I will say, as a reward, let's do this, because I actually would thank you guys for watching this video. As a reward, if you watched this video and you made it to the end of the video, let's give out some Zoe bundles. So let's give away 1 Europe, 1 North America Zoe bundle, the League Partner bundle. All you've got to do is be subscribed, like the video, and in the comment section, I don't know, either ask a new question or answer a question that I've answered, and make sure you leave your region. So in the comments, put that. So answer a question that I've answered, give your opinion on it, or ask a new question and also leave your region. Europe, so Europe West or Europe Northeast are the two that you can get, or North America. We'll give away one from the regions. But that's going to be it. Again, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on it, throw a comment. I'll see you guys next time. See you.